another. Mainstream media. Government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
And what they do is Congress or the state gives marching orders to these agencies. Now, these agencies, because they are foreign, they're actually you could call them foreign and domestic enemies. What they do to rule us, then Congress said we are going to fund these things, and they will publish in the Federal Register, which is the federal newspaper, to give us notice, legal notice, what they are going to do to us. And in that Federal Register, these agencies are operating under rules and rules are government and regulations is us.
And they are literally letters of marque. The Imperium gives them seal to engage in piracy, to engage in forfeiture against the slave enemy. Just like when the Soviets took over, they called everyone rebels and then gave letters of marque to their agents. It is, you are the enemy of the government. They have set forth armies to eat out your substance. We'll be right back. Ralph Winterrowd.
Yes.
We're still on air, just for the internet audience. I don't want to waste any time. We'll come back and get into where you were on the other side, so it's congruent. But right now, I want to talk to you about, we'll shift gears back into the whole operation they're running. But right now, let's go ahead and start getting into the horror stories with CPS.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ralph. We're live on air right now.
Okay, well, in these, I was contacted by Greg Pound out of Florida, and he is, him and I have been working together to get to the bottom of this, of how and what they're doing, because he had 4 children at the time, and one of them was bitten by a dog, not seriously, and of course, what do? You dial 911, they took the child to the hospital. The next thing you know, they have taken all 4 of his children. Now, then they showed up with the cops, and they took him under force of arms, and they took all of his children. The very 2 first hearings that they went to, he was denied any right to enter any evidence. And once they close that door, then they do step 2, is they go into what's called the case plans. And this is where everybody is sucking off the hind tit. That means the government is getting money, the psychiatrist is getting money, the dentist is getting money, everybody is getting money, the lawyers have an allocation of money that they can spend, so they're all getting this money, and the only objective for him was to, are you going to do the case plan? So he had to go to anger management. He had to go in and confess that he had done domestic violence. But
this is guilty until proven innocent, and then when you sign that, you agree to guilt, and now it's over.
Well, they actually set up, and it's right in, and this is where we started to get this exposed. They actually, in these child protective, they actually have a group where they're actually in there. They're in there to punish you. It actually says this. They're in there to punish you, and it's composed of the cops and all of these agency people, the people that don't even know anything about you, and all of a sudden they're in control of your life, and they're going to make you do these certain things because you are guilty until proven innocent, and there is no way to prove yourself innocent.
And then, of course, it's filled with pedophiles, just filled with child rapers or just lazy scum that house 5 or 6 kids and they beat them, don't feed them enough, and it's all come out 5 times more likely than any other group to abuse children. I've gone and covered these events, and they're all these just demonic little Nelly pig men in uniforms. I mean, just the most sick filth you've ever seen.
Well, this is where they get around, and you discover this in there.
Well, this is the case where they sent, even the CPS worker went to jail for filing false reports, but they said, we don't care. You'll never see your kids again.
Yeah, in Greg Pound's, she filed 26 false reports, and they got around and whitewashed it, and she didn't spend any time in jail, and they didn't do anything about it. And they were felons.
But she's dead now, isn't she?
Oh, no, she's still out there. It was just a young gal.
This was somebody else that another CPS went to jail and then committed suicide or something. God, I mean, imagine.
Yeah, no, this is a different one, but what they do then is, we found this in the thing, is how they protect these pedophiles People do not know that. Anytime you take a young child to the hospital for any issue, they get around and send over a report to the child custody folks. In the Florida regulations, if you are a child provider, foster care, the hospital is not to report what's going on.
Coming up, Ralph Winterrowd's going to get into CPS. At every hospital, every clinic, they upload with computers by law to the local health department that carries out the eugenics operation under the federal charter. They report on your child. Neighbor's dog bites them, kids are gone. Child breaks their finger playing peewee football in front of witnesses, CPS is coming. Doesn't matter. Then, once they get them in the pedophile guild clutches, and we're not joking when I mean that, then the hospitals are not allowed to report on sexual or physical abuse, and that's why they're 5 times more likely in Fed zone numbers to abuse children. This is the sicko force. I mean, this is a guild of pedophiles. But the globalists do it because they want to break up families, so they contract with the pedophiles to run this. And every state they've been caught, Texas, Florida, with pedophiles running the whole system. It's mainstream news, but the hell force is just increasing. But I want to get back into that later. Right now, Ralph, get into what these agencies are.
Well, what I finally discovered then, when they meet none of the qualifications of a public officer that has discretion, or they meet none of the qualifications of what's called an officer of the United States or an inferior officer of the United States, they're all employees. Now, herein lies the danger. You can't fire them. They don't work for us. You can't hold them accountable. It's almost impossible to sue them. Now, if they all look like they had turbans like out of Iraq or Iran, we'd know what they were. But they're sitting out here, and they're funded by the state or by the feds, and they're all employees. And that's called ministerial duties. They hold no public office. They have no discretion. They are mandated to work by the rules and regulations. That's the only thing that holds them accountable. They are no part of a government. We have no constitutional republic. If people use this word agency, got nothing to do with us. I've researched out the police, like in Alaska, the troopers. They're paramilitary. I heard this guy get up and testify. He says, we're paramilitary, which means they're outside the government. They're just like Blackwater.
Hell, Ralph, 2 years ago, I saw the head of the Naval War College get up on C-SPAN and say, we work for Wall Street. We don't work for the American people. We work for the global government. I mean, it's just right out in the open now.
Well, it is, but the people are, I'm sorry to say this, but they're literally ignorant and stupid, and we got a bunch of them that are unfortunately in the stupid area because this is so far-fetched, they won't even consider the truth, the facts. I sit in this court, and I listen to him describe their definition of force, the Alaska State Troopers, is force up until you submit. And he said, we operate under the use of force continuum. Level 1, officer present. Level 2, orders, our military orders. Level 3 is our soft hand techniques. Level 4 is pepper spray. The next level up is we go to batons, and then we go up to guns. And it whatever level.
And that's why worse than Abu Ghraib torture happens everywhere. I have video in martial law, my film, with them breaking men and women's arms for not getting up off a sidewalk. And then now in Canada, they say if they catch you without a ticket on a train or a bus, it says you are tasered for punishment. And the police chief came out and said, yes, we now punish you. I mean, that's Judge Dredd. They now punish you.
Well, they don't work for us, and right out of the Wasilla police manual I got, it says we are professionals at making citizens arrest. They have no police power, it says. They have no police power. They're hired guns, just like Black.
By the way, these new auxiliary police in England say the same thing. They say we're authorized under English common law, but see, then they tell us we can't exercise our common law.
That's true, and the other part of this is, see, they can beat the living daylights out of us. If you touch one of them, you can be charged with a crime. You just touch them. Just take your finger. I've already tried these things.
It's a wonderland for control freak cowards. They get to rape, kill, abuse, rape children. I mean, folks, when you read about the Texas Youth Commission, where every facility was raping children, making films, having public rape parties, public gladiatorial fights, I mean, just something out of a nightmare. It's just, I call them the hell force, Ralph. I mean, the hell force is among us.
Well, let me tell you this. Right out of the Federal Register, first of all, there's an act of Congress. I think it's 97 or 98, under Clinton, that says they are going to average out the 3-year baseline of kids to adopt. There's mandatory requirements for the feds for if you're in the state program to get money to adopt. And they give $4,000 for the healthy one, $2,000 for the crippled ones. And that's above the baseline, so every year the baseline keeps increasing. So that's an automatic self-destruct for our families. And number 2 in the Federal Register.
Let me be clear. The bounty for the number of children that must be kidnapped is increasing, and they just have a cold-blooded bounty, and they go after nice families because CPS has found white trash will blow your head off. Okay? They don't like messing with tough types or criminal types. They like the nice little family that keeps thinking, well, I'm innocent. I'll get my child back someday. And the fat pedophile says, yeah, you'll get him back someday. And you can just see him, big, fat, disgusting, demonic, child-raping filth from hell.